right, so you may have noticed that at the end of every episode here, I ask you to send me an email with any questions that you have, any business ideas that you have. And now I'm starting to get a couple emails every day. And I'm going to tell you that from now on, I'm only going to answer 20% of the emails. If your email is not in the top 20%, I'm not going to answer it. So do what I say in this email or in this podcast, and you are way more likely to get your email answered. So I've been asked several times, what skill do you think is practically ignored but is critical to success? And honestly, I think that it is being able to deliver an effective email. 269 billion emails are sent and received every single day, but nobody talks about email etiquette. The people who are good at emailing shine. The people who aren't good at it have a huge disadvantage and they don't even know it. So first, let's talk about the contents of the email. Nobody has time, nor do they want to read a novel. You must keep your emails short. You must keep your emails to the point, and formatting, some bullets, some spaces, some paragraphs, it's critical. No emails should ever be over 150 words. Okay, so if you're sending an important email to an important person, all right, the kind of email where you write it, you spend a lot of time writing it, and then you're going to get someone to proofread it, you're going to have them take a look at it, you know what I'm talking about. Spend just as much time reducing the email's size as you did writing its contents. Let me say that again. Spend just as much time removing from the email as you spent writing its contents, okay? Every line, go through every line. Is that absolutely necessary? Is there any way that I can combine these two sentences into one shorter sentences? Okay, sending a super concise email is a great skill, and people who you're working with will notice it. All right, so draft an email. It's going to be too long. I get that. Just brain dump on the page. That is the way to do it sometimes. But go through it line by line and reduce it in size. Ask the question, is this absolutely necessary to get my point across? Nobody wants to read a long email. Nobody will read an email with paragraphs that are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines long. Okay, 4-line limit on paragraphs and 150 word limit on the content. Okay, it goes without saying that you need some proper grammar in this thing as well. Now let's talk about the structure of the email. Ditch the Comcast, ditch the AOL, ditch the Hotmail. Okay, that shows everyone you're living in the Stone Age. Set up a professional email address using your domain name and set up a send mail as and use Google Mail and Google Suite to manage your email. Okay, it's a way to get a professional email address on your own domain, but also use the power of Google, Google Drive, Google Voice, Google Analytics, Google My Business, everything that goes along with that. You need a professional signature. Okay, put your name, and in that signature, don't put CEO in your title, please. All right, I know you own the company. I know that you have founded the company, but don't put CEO there. If you have 30 plus employees and you're a big deal, okay, put CEO. But when I read CEO from a company that I know is a startup, I kind of roll my eyes. It's not a good look. So set up your phone email the same way your professional signature is on your desktop. Nobody should be able to tell the difference between your phone and your computer. All right, so make sure you delete the sent from my iPhone at the bottom of your signature. It goes without saying. Now listen, CCing and replying all. There are so many people that I work with every day that don't know that if I CC my partner or if I CC somebody on the email, it's because I want them to be in the loop. All right, so when you get an email and there are people CC'd on it, and you are the one required to take action, respond to everyone to keep everyone in the loop. All right, so it goes without saying that you shouldn't overdo this, especially if this is a sensitive email. You need to correct someone for a mistake they've made. Never, ever criticize someone. Generally, I make the rule never to criticize anyone ever, but definitely don't criticize someone or put someone down in the form of a reply all email. I see it too much. It's ridiculous. So when you receive an email with other people carbon copied, it means that you want them in the loop. Reply all. So another thing that you should keep in mind is that email is permanent. Don't say anything in email that you don't want everyone to possibly know about down the road. I'm talking to the frat boys and the college kids here that this stuff is serious and emails can be a big deal if they surface later and you've said some things that you don't want anybody to know that you said, even if you're kidding around with it. So now let's talk a little bit about the cold sales email. I get hundreds of emails every single year. Most of them are too wordy, and most of them have their hand out saying, me, buy this, help me. Set yourself apart by customizing your email. Do a little bit of online research about who you're targeting. Find something out about the owner. Read the About Us section on their website. Congratulate them on a recent business win, an acquisition, a new client, anything that you can find. Find a way to personalize your cold sales email. You'll get a lot further. So the add value first principle that I preach all the time here, that you should add some value first before you expect anything in return, that comes into play big time here in the form of an email. Try to give some tangible advice. Don't hold everything. Get out the stuff that you think can really help somebody. Give somebody some free consulting possibly. You'll gain some trust. They'll know that they can trust you. They're way more likely to work with you. So customer service. Many times you're using your customer service email or just general customer service email. You should use these tips here. Number one, use exclamation points and emojis. I know this sounds like you're in high school, sounds like something a bunch of middle school girls do with each other, but seriously, it makes a big difference when you're talking to a customer. There's no way to figure out if someone's coming off as cold or rude if you're using periods behind every sentence. Use an exclamation point, use an emoji. It makes you sound so much more energetic, so much more positive. Always thank them profusely for reaching out and always end with a personalized touch in your emails. So canned responses are huge. If you answer the same questions over and over and over again to prospective customers, which you should because you're servicing one specific type of customer, canned responses are amazing. You can create short keys where you can hit Control Z, Control A, all these different short codes, and it can insert canned responses that you have saved, that you have prepared, that are perfect. So you hit this short key, it puts a whole paragraph of text right in your email. You can deal with your customer service reps. You can teach them how to do this, and you can make sure that they're delivering exactly what you want them to be saying. And you can use them yourself if you're doing a lot of customer service as well. Another thing about emails is that they are great for keeping records. Emails are searchable. It's easy to bring back old emails, to dig up old communications. So if you make a deal with someone in person or over the phone, follow up with them and ask for a confirmation response. So I can't tell you how many times in business people agree to something in a meeting. They agree to separate tasks amongst themselves. They agree to an actual price for an actual list of services that they're going to do with someone, and that there is no proof that ever happened. So if there's a disagreement later on, no way to figure out who's right, who's wrong, and what was agreed upon. So next time you make a deal, next time you have an important meeting, next time you have a phone conversation with somebody where something really important was discussed, follow up with an email. Send them a quick email saying, hey, we just talked about this. You said you were going to do this. We talked about this for this price. This is what you're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Send off. Then you have that. You can always go back to it. You can say, look, I sent you this email right after the conversation. I know this is not, you can't hold this up in court. Okay, you shouldn't make legally binding agreements here, but just generally get in a habit of doing this. It's amazingly handy. All right, so just a recap here of what we've talked about. Keep it short. Paragraphs should never be over 4 lines, and no email should be over 150 words. Send multiple emails if that's the case. Nobody will read your email. You will have a lot lost in communication if you try writing a novel. So use your own domain name. Spend a little bit of time setting up a professional domain. If you don't have a business yet, use your Gmail. Make sure your Gmail address is professional, and make sure you still have a logo, some things like that, or a signature in your email. Don't put CEO in your title. Comes off as arrogant. Put owner, put founder, put president. Okay, those are all things that mean you are in charge, you can make decisions, but I'm not so egotistical that I need to put CEO in my exclamation point or in my signature. Use exclamation points with customers. Make sure you don't sound grumpy. Anybody that you're talking with in a sensitive information where you could come off as being rude or they're unsure how you feel about something, it lightens the mood. It lets them know that you're in a positive mood, you have a positive attitude, and you're energetic when you use exclamation points. Get short keys for customer service so that you can use canned responses to send out perfectly formatted responses that you've pre-prepared. So, and if you're sending cold sales emails, spend a second to personalize those. The info's out there, spend 2 seconds, add value first, find a way to help the person. Your email is much more likely to get in the hands and get read by the person who needs it. So, last thing, use emails to keep a record of deals. It's such a great habit in business. Have an important conversation, follow it up with an email. All right, so that's all I have here. Thank you so much for listening. And if If you have a question for me, nick@sweatystartup.com. You know what to do with the email that you send me. Look forward to hearing from you.